Bama has entered the race for Jace Clarizio. This could be a turnaround for Bama. This guy is committed to Michigan State. However, Bama has made an offer and is putting all its structure and tradition to bring the guy to the team. Could this be an epic turnaround? We'll talk about that, but first subscribe to the channel and let's get to the news. Stay until the end to have access to all the news from Bama. Alabama has once again shown its power in the recruiting scene by entering the race for running back Jace Clarizio, one of the most interesting prospects in the Michigan region. Until then committed to Michigan State, Clarizio, with his impressive statistics and ability on the field, has been a highlight for East Lansing High this season, helping lead the Trojans to a solid 6-3 campaign in the regular season and advancing to the state playoffs. Alabama's entry into the race is a clear sign that the program is looking for talent that can make a difference. Clarizio caught the attention of Alabama running backs coach Robert Gillespie and offensive line coach Chris Kapilovic, both of whom were drawn to the young running back's consistent performance and potential. The Crimson Tide's approach shows how much Alabama is looking for talent that can further elevate the team, even in regions where other programs tend to dominate recruiting. Clarizio isn't just a regional talent, he's ranked number 448 overall in the 2025 draft cycle and is considered the number 34 running back according to the On3 industry rankings. The ranking, which combines assessments from major recruiting firms, shows Clarizio's potential to develop and excel in a more competitive league. Despite his initial commitment to Michigan State and intention to stay home, Alabama's offer presents a tough decision for the young player. Michigan State's recruiting class, while promising, currently ranks just 49th in the nation. Alabama, a perennial top recruiting program in the country, offers an unparalleled development platform, as well as the visibility and opportunity to work with some of the best coaches and elite facilities. For Clarizio, accepting an offer from an established program like Alabama represents more than just a geographic choice, it's a chance to test himself and potentially excel at the highest level of college football. This type of recruiting movement highlights Alabama's ongoing effort to stay on top of its game by relentlessly seeking out new talent. The addition of a player like Clarizio could be just what the Crimson Tide needs to add more depth and talent to their backfield. So, is this guy coming to Bama? I want to hear your thoughts at the end of the video. Kalen DeBoer is showing that, in taking over Alabama, he understands the importance of balancing respect for tradition with building his own brand. In a recent statement, he spoke about Nick Saban's presence, making it clear that he values the legendary coach's wisdom but is also determined to chart his own course with the Crimson Tide program. DeBoer said that Saban, far from interfering, has been respectfully supportive, keeping his distance and allowing the new coaching staff the space to develop its own identity. This reflects Saban's confidence in DeBoer's ability to lead and grow the program in an authentic way, without trying to replicate the style that marked Saban's 17 years of success in Tuscaloosa. This approach reflects the maturity and leadership of DeBoer, who, while honoring Saban's legacy, has demonstrated that he is not interested in simply copying past methods. He brought in iconic figures like Mark Ingram to address the team and was part of the naming ceremony for Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, showing that he respects Alabama's history and spirit. Yet by focusing on building something new, he brings a freshness and vision that could be the difference for the Crimson Tide's future. Saban, for his part, publicly supported this approach on the Pat McAfee show, saying that DeBoer must stay true to his own style. With 6 national championships and a long presence in the SEC, Saban understands the weight of his legacy, but recognizes that it is essential that DeBoer bring his own tactics and philosophy to the team. For Saban, it takes more than following a pre-established playbook, it takes authenticity. He knows that DeBoer can win over fans and implement a solid system that can keep Alabama competitive for years to come, despite the changes that come with new leadership. This transition, however, has not come without its challenges. With Alabama facing a key matchup to make the college football playoff, it's understandable that fans are eager to see how DeBoer fares in these high-pressure moments. Nostalgia for Saban's style may be strong, but Saban's confidence in DeBoer is a good sign for fans who are hoping he builds his own winning legacy, paving the way for a new chapter at Alabama. With the early signing period approaching, Alabama is determined to maintain its position at the top of the recruiting rankings. Under Kalen DeBoer, the Crimson Tide has compiled an impressive class of 23 commitments, including 5 5-stars and 9 others ranked in the top 200 in the country. This class reflects DeBoer's ability to attract elite talent and build a solid foundation for Alabama's future. The standouts include 2 running backs who promise to bolster the Tide's offense, Kalen DeBoer, the number 2 RB in the country from Quitman, Mississippi, and Anthony Rogers, the number 10 RB from Montgomery, Alabama. Both are considered essential pieces for Alabama's new era under DeBoer. Rogers' commitment to Alabama has been firm since June 2023, despite his recent official visits to Georgia and Ohio State, reflecting how sought after the young player has become. Meanwhile, DeBoer, a heavyweight prospect, is currently ranked number 44 overall, further cementing the elite status of DeBoer's recruiting class. For DeBoer, completing his first full recruiting cycle in Tuscaloosa with the number 1 class in the country would be a significant milestone, establishing the program's confidence in its vision for the future. Competing with powerhouse programs like Ohio State, LSU, and Georgia makes this feat even more impressive. With December fast approaching, all eyes are on Alabama and its ability to solidify these commitments. If successful, DeBoer will not only bring a new crop of talent to the Crimson Tide, but will also reaffirm Alabama as a premier destination for the nation's best players. Jamarcus Shepherd doesn't mince words when it comes to what he expects from his Alabama wide receivers room. To him, football is war, and that intensity is reflected in both practice and Saturday's games. However, Shepherd knows that the physicality of the game comes with risks, such as injuries. Cole Adams' season, for example, was cut short due to a lower body injury. Still, the coach sees it as part of the process and an opportunity to teach his players a valuable lesson. Shepherd's message is clear: be ready so you don't have to be ready. To him, Alabama wide receivers need to be at a level of readiness that he calls All-American preparedness. That means when the opportunity presents itself, a player must be ready to take advantage of it at the highest level without hesitation. That mindset was evident in freshman Ryan Williams, who quickly impressed his teammates and coaches. At one of the first practices, even the veterans asked to see more of number 2, immediately recognizing the young player's talent. Williams and Jeremy Bernard have been essential to Alabama's passing game, amassing 1,165 of the team's 2,033 receiving yards and 9 of its 13 passing touchdowns. But Shepherd makes it clear that the impact isn't limited to those 2. Caleb Odom, a former tight end who now plays wide receiver, has shown remarkable growth and become a reliable option. In addition, other young receivers are taking advantage of their opportunities, receiving valuable reps and ongoing feedback to help them develop. Shepherd sees this on-field experience as crucial to the program's future. He emphasizes that regardless of who is getting the initial reps, whether it's Williams, Bernard, Kendrick Law, or Kobe Prentice, the goal remains the same: the team expects each player to perform at a high level. For Shepherd, commitment and focus on performance are what really matter. His analogy is straightforward: I don't really care who pays my bills. I just want my bills paid. With this approach, Jamarcus Shepherd reinforces an environment of excellence and constant preparation at Alabama. Regardless of injuries or who is on the field, he demands that all of his players be committed to being ready to raise the Crimson Tide's game every game. Let's keep going. Alabama enters the season as the SEC's brightest hope to end a long drought of national titles in men's basketball. With Nate Oates at the helm and a talented roster led by Mark Sears, the Crimson Tide enters with high expectations and a newfound vigor after a 110-54 victory over UNC Asheville. This debut not only showcased the team's offensive prowess, but also provided a preview of the defensive potential that Oates has been emphasizing since last season. The presence of Sears and Grant Nelson, who opted to return rather than pursue a professional career, brings critical stability to the team. Alabama brought in one of the top recruiting classes in the country and added strategic transfers, including former Rutgers standout Clifford Omoruyi, who quickly showed his impact with a solid debut of 16 points and 8 rebounds in just 19 minutes of play. In addition to Omoruyi, promising freshmen LeBaron Philon and Darian Reed, as well as Auburn transfer Aiden Holloway, have already proven themselves on the court. That combination of experience and youth puts Alabama in a unique position to win. However, as Oates emphasized, talent alone doesn't guarantee victories. It's necessary to translate that skill into consistency on the court. While they led the nation in scoring last season, the real test will be balancing a solid defense with the team's signature explosiveness on offense. Latrell Wrightsell Jr. emphasized that mindset, emphasizing the importance of defense in sustaining the pace of the game and taking advantage of quick transitions. The Crimson Tide, however, still has challenges ahead, including a matchup against number 14 Purdue on November 15th, where the team's defensive resilience and cohesion will be put to the test. Additionally, the absences of Houston Millett and Nas Cunningham, and the wait for Chris Youngblood to recover, limit the depth of the roster, but also create room for young talent to gain experience in crucial situations. For Alabama, this season represents a historic opportunity to establish its position as one of the elite programs in college basketball, leading the SEC back to the top. Preparation, defensive focus, and consistency will be the keys to turning talent into results and, who knows, ultimately bringing a national title back to Alabama. I want to hear your thoughts now. Let me know what you think.